McDowell's supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Another wonderful Thursday afternoon, no, Friday afternoon to you, everyone. I should know better than that. I watched Richard Frederick on Can I Help You last night, so I really shouldn't be making that kind of mistake. So another wonderful Friday afternoon to you, everyone. Welcome once again to The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, alongside our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. And we hope that you are having a very good day so far. It is the 25th day, Alton? It is the 25th day of the month of July 2025. It's the final Friday in the month. By the time we hit next week Friday, it will be the 1st of August. In fact, that will be Emancipation Day, a public holiday in St. Lucia. So looking ahead, we won't have any program. Our program, as you know, is weekdays, holidays and weekends accepted, from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on the radio station, Real FM, that serves you on two frequencies, 91.3 for the north and 91.5 for the south. We're also simulcasting on NBC Television, channel 120 on the Flow Cable TV service. We are on Facebook Live and YouTube live streaming as well. I apologize for my absence yesterday from the program. Was feeling a bit under the weather. In any case, I'd been looking for an opportunity, to give Terry Fenelon a chance to, run the program solo. And boy, did he do a great job of it. Gave a superb account of himself. I told him so already. Called him immediately after, and told him, that he did wonderful. Anytime I told him, how about you try a solo? He's always, like, yeah, I don't mind, but you can see he's not too enthusiastic. But put in the situation yesterday, he really gave a good showing, and I'm really thankful for that. Thank you for the support that you provided him, and that includes Jaquan in terms of running the pieces that he always comes abundantly with. And thank you very much, everyone who called to check up on me and to make sure that I was okay. And it wasn't all that bad, nothing too serious, but more or less, as we tend to say, based on different things that you might have miscalculated. I had a little faiblesse in my booty. Sometimes they tell you when you eat too much dry coconut, or what's the other thing and so on that you eat them, that they give you a little faiblesse à boudin. So I had a bit of that yesterday, but nothing in terms of, anything more serious than that. So I decided good opportunity to give Terry a run. You'll see me in my red shirt, not that I need any special occasions to wear it. But tomorrow, significantly, maybe relatedly, is the exact 4th anniversary since that victory by the St. Lucia Labour Party and the two independents who subsequently joined the Labour Party government in a coalition cabinet, won what in effect was a 15-2 really landslide spanking election victory over the then incumbent United Workers' Party. So tomorrow will be 4 years since the SLP won the election. Now, you will probably notice that celebrations or plans for celebrations are kind of low-key. You're not hearing of any rally or anything planned. And that had already been explained to me by the chairman of the Labour Party, who had indicated to me that they would have kept the celebrations down because carnival activities at the community level, even though the national carnival ended on Monday and Tuesday of this week, but we have other things like Soufre Carnival, this carnival, and so on. And they didn't want, as the government, as the governing party, to be having activities that will be very demanding in terms of the national resources of the roads and access and traffic and things of that kind, to be having that in competition with the carnival activities that are still pending or outstanding. So they would have already circulated a poster which would have said that a rally which was due for Sunday, July 27th, 2025, and that would have been this coming Sunday, was postponed. Okay, they had promised more details, but it was subsequently announced that it would be postponed. All right, but in any case, congratulations to the Labour Party, to its supporters, to the government, and all St. Lucians since the government, on what we can say has been 4 years of stable government, of peaceful government. There's been no kind of national unrest or anything of that kind, and we've seen many signs of progress, even though a lot of people would not want to concede that or agree to that, or much less to praise and to support it. But to Prime Minister Honorable Philip J. Pierre, who's also the political leader of the governing St. Lucia Labour Party, congratulations to you for steering St. Lucia through a period of stability, of advancement, of progress. I hesitate to say prosperity. We probably have a long way to go with that. But I think there are few who would argue that St. Lucia is in a place where we can breathe relatively easy. But for the crime problem, and I want to qualify that, we tend to lump all crime together and say that crime has increased. And, well, the murders, the shootings, the homicides, they are a concern. There is no doubt about it. But I believe progress has been made in crime fighting. The police are recording successes in almost all other areas and categories. They are now better equipped. They are now better facilitated in terms of police stations, in terms of the rebuilding of what was before called custody suites, now known by another name which is a bit longer. So many other things in terms of vehicles, in terms of equipment, in terms of recruitment, having, more police recruits, brought into the force to become constables and so on, the patrols. I mean, a lot has been done in that. And it is so very easy to believe that no progress, no improvement has been made. The homicides, the shootings, they become a problem. They are a serious concern. And if there is anything that would put a damper on any celebrations for the SLP, it would be this. Now, of course, Carnival continued in spite of the homicides. Jazz Festival continued. So many other things continued. But I in a way, I am kind of happy that the governing party found a reason to step back from the planned rally and celebrations, because I believe had they come at exactly this time, given what we have been having of the shootings and the stabbings and the killings and the murders and the homicides and all of that, to be seen to be celebrating, many people, it may have left a little bitter taste in their mouth, and many people may have used it like they do so many other things, but crime is one of them especially, for some kind of political ammunition to say, look, they're celebrating and, people are dying all around and that sort of thing. People, I think that point has been made so much, but I don't think it is what you will call belaboring it. That there are certain things that police can do. They can position themselves on the roads with their radar guns and whatever to check for speeding and the many other things that they can do in terms of crowd control, in terms of stop and search and traffic stops and roadblocks and checking people's license they can do that. But let us face it. Do you believe the people who shoot people that they'll ever shoot people when they see a police vehicle in the area or police patrol, unless it's the police they decide to shoot at, which is not unheard of? Do you believe they will ever, when they believe there is a high chance of them being seen and noticed and detected, and caught, even if not right away, that, the police will be able to pursue them easily and so on? Do you think they'll ever do it? I mean, these are people who know, who watching who they want to kill, when they're passing, where they're passing, to be stalking them, to be trailing them, to be surveilling them, to be all sorts of things. And then they shoot them. How many people shoot people and the shooter stays in the same spot or stands there with his gun held like some kind of big, gangster in the movies and so on, and he don't care with anybody and he put down somebody? These fellas, they do that and they fade away. They slip away. They disappear. They know the little alleys and the back roads and so on that they'll disappear and nobody will know. That's why, we have to be very, very, very careful, and we have to be very, very determined. There is no way the police by themselves, no matter how much equipment, no matter how many vehicles and supplies you give them, that they can ever deal with this thing in an effective way, in a notable way, in a significant way, if they do not have the full cooperation and support of the citizenry. And I think the people recognize that. The police need to recognize that. And what their various brainstorming and think tanking need to do is to find out how we can facilitate people, how we can make them feel more confident, how we can make them feel safer sharing information with the police. People, let's face it, there are practicalities to this thing, And we can talk in radio and television studios when we holding a drink in our hands at a bar around the domino table with friends about what needs to be done and so on. But the reality for the person on the ground in the areas where most of those shootings tend to take place, or we have been hearing them. It ain't Cap Estate, you're hearing it happening. It ain't Rodney Bay, you're hearing it happening. From time to time, yes. It ain't those places, you're hearing it happening. What you're hearing, let us talk about Black Mali. Let us talk about George Charles Boulevard, Touhouge, Maynard Hill, Grass Street, Wilton's Yard, and of course other places, Bruceville, and so on. And when people look at Fuasho, for example, take that as an example. Who it is that will want to go on their phone in a place like Fuasho and to be calling the police? And they will not be absolutely afraid that at the moment they're talking, somebody is listening to them. Just look at the way the houses are. Look at how the fences, even when there are fences separating the houses. What kind of fence you talking about? A galvanized fence that has more rusted and has holes in it that somebody can always peep at you to macro you, rest their ear on it, press their ear against it, and they can hear what you're saying. Or even your house, the houses, because of the economic situation and status of the people, wooden houses. And what kind of wood we're talking about? Wood that is rusted, that have it so many cracks and holes that it's so very easy for you to be talking and for somebody to be pressing their head against your house and hearing what you're saying already. Yeah? That by the time you are somebody who believe you're going to take a walk so that you can pass by a cop and tell them somebody watching you, somebody peeping around the corner because they have an idea, especially if you're the type of person that they know is not in the Lide, is not in the quarrel, you're a peaceful kind of person. If you happen to be the church-going person in a place like Fuasho, the decent law-abiding, you don't think there are many people who are watching you because they figure that is exactly the kind of person who is likely to be a snitch. That is exactly the kind of person who's likely to be a rat, who will go and report us, who will say what he saw. You don't believe they have enough for people watching you already? Because you just fit the profile of somebody who not in the Maji, who not in the Laide, who not in the Kaka, who not in the Desagwema, or if something happened that involves somebody they figure you care about, a relative, a family member. You don't believe that people who watching you? You don't believe that people who in the congestion of these places, it is so very easy, much less if they see a police vehicle pull up and they see you leaning on the door talking to a cop and whatever. You don't think they're checking you out already? They're checking you out because they saw you talking to cops. And that is what I'm saying. The police need to work out ways in these situations. I don't say they can go there and ask the police. They can change the whole residential and accommodation and housing and neighborhood and community, realities and dynamics of a Fuasho or Wilton's Yard. But I am saying do some brainstorming, do some kind of facilitation to figure out how you can give people options, how you can facilitate people to pass on information to the police in a manner that does not endanger them. Now, you ask me what to do. I don't know. I'm just saying, if I am somebody living in a Wilton's Yard graveyard, if I am somebody living in a Georgeville, living in a Leslie Land and a whatever hill and so on, Mondudon and those kind of places. If I am a person there, I will be very careful how I move, how I look. I remember I used to live at Touhouge, in Bash. I actually lived Touhouge for some time. And of course, being who I am, I would pass my shirt in my pants and looking decent, maybe going to church or wherever I was going. And guys just used to look at me, and I remember, I've never forgotten that. A guy looked at me and said for me to, hey, Matt looking like an informer. Just like that, why? Because I do not fit the profile. I do not fit the normal look of maybe what they consider would be somebody from that area, an ordinary guy, and I wasn't born there, I wasn't raised there. But, just look at me. Another time I was passing and I had this boots. I don't know if they look like, for some reason the fellow started calling me officer. They just seemed to believe that I had some kind of connection with the police and so on. I wasn't afraid, I just figured, it'll all blow away. And over time, a couple of them, became nice with me. To this day, they remember me and so on. But what if those fellas believed that I was somebody who was a snitch or ratting on them and so on? And this is the kind of thing I'm saying. I believe the police need to find a way. Nobody ain't gonna just pick up and call funding. Don't know who's watching them through a peephole, through a fat pakla, two kia kayo, or pressing the air against the already rotted and flimsy boards of your house that you are a squatter in a slum area, in a ghetto area where people are so easy to see you and pick up. There's hardly any privacy. They're not gonna do that. They're not going to do that and put themselves in danger. Easy so. Some may do it, but most of them might not. All right, folks. Now, there's something that I find curious, and I wonder how much of it is at play in our country. Why do people choose when we have carnival and those things? That's when people want to, you hear a lot of shootings and incidents taking place. That's when a stabbing this and a that is. And you heard me saying there before that I wonder, is it a case of they believe police and law enforcement are so heavily engaged? Or is there something about occasions that are festive and that have celebration and party that some people just can't deal with? It gets them angry. Maybe it reminds them of what they lack, of their own deficiencies. Maybe their own social inadequacies and so on come up. And so they want to make a statement. They're angry. They want to express, that you're enragé against the society because they feel insignificant, they feel like nobody. That's when they have to make themselves fearsome and famous, make it a legend of Gasson. There's some people, when they're ignorant, they're not educated, they don't really have what they consider to be any social assets and so on. This is what gives them a sense of relevance, that you sa shoot a moon, you sa chew a moon, you sa phone by. Yeah, there are actually people like that at the level of ignorance. And I have been wondering, is that what is at work? There is a word, I think it is of German origin. The word, I think, is Schadenfreude. There may be other words that are relevant, but Schadenfreude refers to a situation where people rejoice and take pleasure and find some kind of gratification in the misfortunes and the calamities that befall others. So they always want to see something bad happen. And I have wondered, are we more of a Schadenfreude society than we think we are? I think our seniors in journalism and writing and so on, Rick Wayne, I remember, did write an editorial, which I think was my first introduction to the word Schadenfreude. And then there was the late Willie James. Rick Wayne is still with us, of course. Willie James, I remember sitting with him, and he himself told me, we have this Schadenfreude mentality about us. By then I had become familiar with the word. Because growing up, I do remember in our community, one of them, a cousin of mine, used to have a certain pride in bearing the reputation of people qui casse danser. If there is a dance in the community, and in those days, a dance was a real big thing. The community, the neighborhood dance in whose disco. I mean, when you had a disco or dance hall, you were, as you say, go no. Whether the earlier part where there was the children's dance and later on grown people and so on, on a Sunday or whatever day they used to have it. And there were some people who just had this habit. It was something upon which they built their reputation, that you say mun kika kase danse. They specialize in wrecking, in mashing up, in breaking up. The people who always, once you play in a game and you come, they have to squash the game in some way. Either they're batting and they don't want to accept that they're out. Well, there were this kind of bad guys, these rough guys who always get in a scrape with the person at the door, the bouncer, and they want to go in without paying. And before they try to stop them, they lay out the person flat with a punch, sometimes knock out some of their teeth, or go inside and spray something, or ask a woman to dance. And if she say no, they slap her, and before you know it, a fight starts and so on. What they will call a gume a pagal, how they call that one? They, everybody all in one and so on. A brawl, gume a pagal taking place, or they go to the bar and they order a drink and they don't pay it, and if the bar person challenges them, they fling the glass at them, and before you know it, major fights. And I remember there was a guy who used to tell me, boy, when he was growing up, and he was a big tough guy, he told me, boy, his pleasure was pour casser danser, If you knew danser, he would like pour casser danser, and once he come in, and he said nobody and doing, and he raised his voice, he had this powerful voice. And I have asked myself, is that a society where we have Schadenfreude people, envious people who, for some reason, it brings out some kind of sense of deficiency or inadequacy or inferiority once they see people enjoying themselves and having fun, whether in carnival, whether in jazz festival, whether in the neighborhood blocko or whatever. They have to come and do something. They have to find a reason. Now, I'm not saying it is because of that, but maybe they have some beef with somebody, but that's when they want to come and shoot. That's then they want to come and stab. That's when they want to come and chop. Is there something about the enjoyment? And again, I will say, I ask myself, should we redesignate certain types of crime because of the time, the place, the context in which they take place? Should they be redesignated as a form of domestic, lower grade, diminished, smaller scope terrorism? Because apart from the person that they come to harm, that they come to chop, and it's not always a precise thing shooting, we know other people getting hit all the time. Are they doing it to send out a message, to have people so terrified that what we need most, which is people collaborating closely with the police, they will be scared right out of their pants from doing so. Because if they can come and spray a place with bullets, as happened at what was it, Kako Jiwa in that area some time ago, somebody, after they killed the guy on his doorstep, I think his name was Morlings Delis. Later they were having a wake. Or was it after the funeral, whatever, people gathered around Morlings Delis and guys passed and sprayed bullets. I've told you already about the Monsepa incident where on one night, armed guys were just passing and shooting at people's houses. Why would they be doing that? Except to tell people, stay inside, don't come outside, don't even come by your window, don't come and peep through, your curtains or anything because you might get hit. Whatever it is they're doing, that they want to terrify people. When you see guys can show up at a wake, a lave, and start shooting at people like that, what is it they're trying to do? You mean just to shoot people or a dead guy? You all killed the guy already. You all don't even want people to come, and to do what we've done as part of our tradition and culture for such a long time. You have, except to frighten people. And when you have that kind of fright, who will want to go and report who they saw, who they recognize on the motorcycle that came and started shooting? Because before they get them, they might come for me. That is why I will say again, we need to consider whether certain types of crime, the context in which they occur, give them some terrorist designation that will serve as an aggravating factor in the conviction and sentencing of those people. We can't just say zero tolerance. We have to recalibrate and look at many different things that will add up to a true zero tolerance. Now, before we go for the break, I don't really want to talk about West Indies cricket, to be honest with you. We took it. I don't even know the last game. Has it been held already? It's supposed to be at Warner Park in St. Kitts. We had the two in Jamaica that they made an absolute magic ocean of West Indies in the final of the 3 tests. And once you see we reach a stage where it's only 3 tests, that they can roster us for. And so because they don't consider West Indies to be something that is profitable, something that is lucrative, something that's worth the while to go into the 5-6 tests that West Indies and Australia used to play back in the days of Viv Richards and Clive Lloyd and the Chappell brothers and the late Keith Boyce and those kinds of people and so on. They don't have time for you anymore. Soon they might come and it's 1 test and a few T20s, if even the 50 overs and so on. West Indies is just not worth the while of many of the big names that it depends upon recognition and attractiveness and sponsors and advertisers and so on. We can talk all we want about, West Indies not paying the people. How West Indies paying and West Indies not making money? The quality of play and the attractiveness to sponsors and advertisers is not there for them to make the money. Doesn't mean the administrators not doing, but West Indies is just not pulling as a big revenue earning thing that they were before. West Indies go to Australia and whatever the cricket ground, Melbourne, Sydney, whatever was packed to capacity. When they tell you 90,000 people there and so on came to watch a match between West Indies one day or whatever and so on. There were crowds that were coming and so they had this sort of thing. I hear people talking about how players are using West Indies as a platform to showcase themselves so they can get contracts in international franchises. But I say to myself, does that make sense if that's what they're doing? How on earth can you go showcasing and marketing yourself except for the fame, except for the reputation, except for the legend that you have developed as a West Indian player? Isn't it because back in the day, the Viv Richards and the Malcolm Marshalls and so on, every county side, Brian Lara, Warwickshire and Carl Hooper, isn't it because of the achievements and the fame that they had developed as West Indies players or players from the West Indies, that all those counties and so on? So why would you want to kill your own goose that lays golden eggs for you? If it is West Indies that gives you that kind of appeal, why would you want to fool around with that so that you can go and play? After a couple of seasons, especially if you have a bad one, the India, IPL and whatever else, they'll get rid of you. Who are you anymore? You're falling flat on your backside. But then even in cricket, even in soccer, I have heard, because I used to wonder when you talk about World Cup football, how come there's some guys, when you hear them at the club, especially the European clubs, whether it's Barcelona or Real Madrid or the German clubs and so on that they play with, or the French and so on. How come those guys are playing football like they are absolute megastars? And when the World Cup comes, you see them playing for their country. They have such a, at one time Wayne Rooney was called Plain Rooney because, he was such an ordinary guy, I think, in the 2010 World Cup that he really wasn't sparkling. He really wasn't cutting it. And so many other people you find are underachievers at the global level, in the World Cup. Like Brazil had this tall guy who clearly was, or what's his name, Richarlison, I saw in the World Cup. Like the guy just wasn't really showing, like he's really there and so on for what you knew he could do. Brazil got eliminated. Some actually did great, It's like, Messi, always like a guy, no matter how famous and thing, this guy is always giving 200% effort. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But you get the feeling that he's always hungry, always has this desire. There are others I couldn't say the same for them until somebody told me, I don't understand what's really going on there, The budget of a Barcelona football club, Barcelona FC alone, or a Roma, or AC Milan, or whatever their names are and so on, just the budget for training and paying is probably greater than the national budget of many of the countries that those guys come from, or at least the budget of their Ministry of Sports, of their football authorities and so on. When those guys are on playing for AC Milan or Liverpool or whatever, the money that they make from them, not just what they pay them, but all the endorsements and all the sponsorship that they get, it is much more than their country can afford and can pay them. These fellas don't want to come and play for Brazil, and in the process they get hurt, they get injured, and they cannot take up their Barcelona duties and so on, where they make a lot of money. So they play in a manner to protect themselves because they get released from Barcelona because they cannot fulfill their contract or whatever happens to them and so on. It's a bigger loss for them than if their country loses the World Cup. Of course, national glory, patriotic glory, they would want to win it. But at what cost and at what risk to them? The person said to me, look, you go to the facilities of an AC Milan, the grounds where they train, their home and so on, and the setup in terms of everything, the dressing rooms, the washrooms and so on. I mean, that is completely out of this world than when it comes to the national dressing room of where they train in Colombia or Brazil. Well, they may not be good because these are more advanced, These fellas have to deal with facilities that probably just, the smell of them puts them off and so on. And when they are at AC Milan and so on, everything is just so totally, dapper and dandy for them. And then they have to go in the conditions in their home countries and so on, African countries where there's little investment, they don't have the money to invest, or there's negligence or corruption, and they don't really get the treatment and so on. They get injured in those European countries and so on. The arrangements that are there for medicals for them, for insurance, for taking care of them, the level of surgery that is required to repair a damaged knee and so on. He said what they will get, for example, in Barcelona, sometimes they struggle to get that. So yes, they want the pride of playing for their country. So I don't know whether this is what is at work, and maybe what West Indies has to offer and provide for them is not as great as what they get from the franchises. But I will make the point again that perhaps the reason those franchises and those foreign clubs and county clubs and whatever want you is because of the name you have made and the fame you have gained for West Indies. So you have to make up your mind. Before we go for the break, let me just congratulate the young man, Kimani Melius, and maybe I'll speak with that. We're already way past the time for the break. The young man, Kimani Melius, I believe a sort of poetic justice and vindication is beginning to descend and dawn and shine upon him. And I'm happy for that, especially in light of things not too long ago that swirled around whether he was being well treated, whether he was being badly treated for personal and very vindictive reasons. I'm not saying any of them are true. But if that's the case, I think we are beginning to see a justice moving in his direction at precisely the time that whoever the person or people who were victimizing him or being unjust to him or unfair to him, harmful, hurtful, destructive to him, well, they might be experiencing at least the beginning stages of a crash and burn, which if the things I'm told, and somebody assured me that they know what they're talking about, that they were doing to young Kimani Melius, if that is why his star is beginning to rise in an unprecedented way, and may that star shine, then I'm telling you, we can do all the evil we want to people. God does not sleep. He does not take vacation. He does not resign or abdicate. He's always there, watching what is going on in the lives of people to repay each and every man and woman according to their deeds. Real issues powered by Blue Waters. Don't go away.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Another hurricane season is upon us. Make this year different. Equip yourself with a backup power generator from JH Launchers Electric. We can source and supply any size, any type to your specifications. But the best part is we stock generators. No more long waiting and delays for your home unit. We proudly stock from 2,000 watts all the way to 26,000 watts gas and diesel generators. Automatic and manual transfer switches are also in stock. Visit JH Launchers Electrics today.
What is the vision for the Vendors Arcade? To provide a world-class shopping environment where local goods and services can be provided and experienced by locals and visitors. Why is this redevelopment necessary? The renovations and expansions will revitalize the infrastructure and enhance the shopping experience for vendors, locals, and visitors. Who will be responsible for the Vendors Arcade? The arcade will continue to be operated and managed by the Castries Constituency Council, who will have full responsibility for the rental and maintenance of the space. How will construction of the Vendors Arcade be managed? A phased approach will be employed to minimize disruption to daily operations. After the completion of each phase, vendors will be relocated from the former arcade, and this will continue until completion of the new facility. St. Lucia Cruise Port, investing in people.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to and staying with the real issues. On this Friday, it is the 25th day of the month of July 2025. I'll soon be opening the phone lines. But before I do so, I wanted to read about Kimani Melius. Yep, I wanted to read that. Let me see if it will show up from the link. Yes. Cricket St. Lucia press release. Yesterday, July 24th, 2025, St. Lucia names senior men's Super 50 squad with focus on development and fitness. The St. Lucia National Cricket Association, SLNCA, is pleased to announce the selection of the senior men's team for the upcoming 2025 Cricket West Indies Super 50 tournament. The 15-member squad will be led by opening batsman Kimani Melius, with Akim Ogist appointed as vice captain. And so this is not franchise, this is not CPL, whatever that, it's not a national team. This is national team. Once you hear St. Lucia National Cricket Association involved, that means this is a national team. And Kimani Melius is the captain of the St. Lucia team for the 2025 Cricket West Indies Super 50, that's 50 overs tournament. The squad reflects a bold and deliberate move towards strategic development guided by a 3-year performance horizon and a strong adherence to the national fitness policy. This approach is part of SLNCA's broader vision to build a sustainable pipeline of high-performance players who can consistently compete at the regional and international levels. Chairman of Selectors, Mr. Craig Emmanuel, noted, quote, "This team was selected with the future in mind. We want to invest in young, committed players who have shown potential, discipline, and a desire to uphold the standards required for modern cricket. Fitness, accountability, and continuous improvement are non-negotiable. The fitness standard continues to be an area of concern across Windward's cricket, and St. Lucia remains committed to getting the tone by reinforcing a culture of physical excellence and professionalism. Players were required to meet minimum fitness benchmarks to be considered for selection. The team will be coached by Alton Crafton, who brings a wealth of experience and leadership to the role. He will be supported by the St. Lucia high performance staff, including a performance analyst, as part of an integrated support system aimed at ensuring optimal team preparation and performance. St. Lucia Senior Men's Super 50 Squad 2025, Kimani Melius, Captain, Aki Mogist, Vice Captain, John L. Eugene, Shadrach Descott, Noel Leo, Theo Edward, Tariq Edward, Lee John, Keon Gaston, Don and Edward, Jaden Elibox, McKenny Clark, Shawnil Edward, Tyrell Chico, Royce Paul, and the reserves are Unieski Gustav, Vanilius Gabriel, Kester Shilmai, and Queen Henry. Excellency extends best wishes to the players and coaching staff as they prepare to represent the nation with pride, discipline, and purpose. Congratulations to Kimani Melius, Aki Mogist, and the other members of the team, including the reserves. And for Kimani especially, I'm not putting my hand in fire. Notice when a lot of allegations and things were being said about why Kimani was not selected for this and that, and somebody is out to crush him because there was some kind of thing where it was said to him. In fact, a certain person said to Kimani, "You have disrespected me and I'm going to destroy you." I don't know if that was said, but if that's the case, it seems like Kimani is beginning to emerge at the same time that it is possible that person has begun the journey where he will fade. You know, if what I heard is true, although it is Kimani came out and said that no, nothing like that happened. The person insisted to me that Kimani was afraid. That's why he was trying not to make much of it or be seen to be making much of it. But if his star is rising, it's one thing for the star to rise, it's another thing for it to shine. I hope that this Super 50 Overs tournament will provide him with the platform by which he can express, by which he can showcase, his talents, his potential, and so on, in a way that whoever it is, if it is true that was trying to mess him up, that they will have absolutely no room to maneuver in that regard. Let us all hope for the best and pray for Kimani Melius and that team so that they can advance. St. Lucia, when it comes to presence in the West Indies team, despite the emergence of Sammy and subsequently Johnson Charles and maybe one or two others, St. Lucia's presence in the West Indies at whatever level has been kind of threadbare. Whether we're talking about T20, whether we're talking about 50 overs and so on, our presence, our representation at West Indies level has been threadbare, and we look to generations like that of Kimani Melius, Akim Ogist, and others to begin to give St. Lucia a lot more presence, performance, and respect at the West Indies level. I've said enough on that, maybe too much. The Labour Party, it seems, now I had that there, but these things just disappear. Let me see if I can get it. Has selected a candidate to do battle for the party at the next general elections in the constituency of Miku South. All right, and it is, let me say that. It is a female. Am I getting that? Somebody send me the link. Sometimes you put something there and the pages just scroll up by themselves to somewhere where I can't get it. I did hear about this young lady who, from everything I know, is the daughter of retired nurse Lilia Harak Singh. And she is a Dr. Harak Singh herself. She's a medical practitioner. I've been hearing her name mentioned, but it seems like she has been selected as the Labour Party's candidate. And from what I've been hearing about this young lady, this young Dr. Harak Singh, if she is in fact the one, folks, Alan Shastney is in trouble. All right? If she's the one, Alan Shastney is in trouble. And I'm happy, for the same reason that I'm happy that that Miss Lisa Jawahi was selected to be the new candidate for the Labour Party for Castries Southeast, and now Dr. Jawahiri, because I think it goes some way towards redressing the gender imbalance, the heavy gender imbalance in our elective politics. I don't think that's why they have been chosen, because you just chose her because she's a woman and so on. If that's the case, Trisha Lionel would have been chosen in Viewfort South and so on. I think you also have to look at the individual's prospects, their viability, political, electoral viability, whether they represent a winning candidacy and so on, or potentially winning candidacy. But I'm happy that for their selection because of the gender imbalance. Of course, Ms. Jawahiri, who's Senator Jawahiri, is also already a member of the upper house, but that is unelected, the Senate. And now she has a chance to go on and to become an elected member of the House of Assembly in the constituency of Castries Southeast, which has a bit of an enviable history when it comes to women being representatives in that constituency, having been represented by Mrs. Heraldine Rock, the late Mrs. Heraldine Rock, from 1974, I think, onwards. I don't know if she did 2 terms. I know she was defeated in 1979 by George Odlum and didn't run again. I remember her from 74 to 79. Maybe she was there before. I can't really recall. Sorry, I didn't even know how to mention the name today. Heraldine Rock, Menissa Rambali, and now Lisa Jawahiri. If that happens, I do not know that there is any other constituency in St. Lucia which has a history of having been represented 3 times. Okay? 3 times. And I'm looking forward, and I'm considering it a foregone conclusion that Senator Jawahiri is going to be victorious. Okay? So Castries Southeast will have the distinction of being perhaps the only constituency that has, on 3 separate occasions in elections, decided to elect and be represented by a woman. So congratulations to Dr. Harak Singh on being selected for endorsement as the candidate to represent the now governing St. Lucia Labour Party in the constituency of Miku South. And if nothing changes, if the UWP doesn't decide that their leader Awa is going nowhere, then it looks like the only way, the best way, and the inevitable way is that he is going to be defeated, because I just cannot see Dr. Harak Singh losing. Maybe somebody else. In the meantime, I haven't spoken to them, but the other hopefuls, the other prospects, the other interested people, one of whom has been on this program with me a couple of times, a nice gentleman. I can almost take the chance of calling him a friend. He speaks his mind, speaks openly. Mr. Gregory St. Ange. I understand there was another gentleman called Mr. Carlos Moncherry. I haven't heard anything, but I have no doubt that you will, how would we say that? Conduct yourselves and uphold yourselves and comport yourselves in the manner that we have seen from the unsuccessful hopefuls in Viewfort South, Mr. Augustus Kade, Ms. Tresha Lionel, and the ex-policeman Frederick. I keep forgetting his first name all the time. Kentry Frederick, as well as in Castries South, Honorable Joachim Henry, who continues as a minister and as the MP. Remember that, Joachim is still the minister responsible for equity, social justice and empowerment, and he's still the member of parliament elected until the next election, until parliament is prorogued to pave the way for the next general elections. And he put out a statement asking his supporters, people who were upset that he was not selected, to run another election for the Labour, and he actually told them, look, stop this, and he put out a written statement as well. So I expect no different, I expect no less from the, we might say, unsuccessful hopefuls in Miku South. Those I know, like I said, ex-SDA pastor Gregory St. Ange, as well as Mr. Carlos Moncherry. So big up to you all. For it was very quiet, it was very peaceful. I didn't hear any row, any light day, any eruption, any commotion in Miku South. I think I can have the confidence that you all will close ranks behind young Dr. Harraksing to absolutely blow away the leader of the United Workers' Party, who has been very negative, who has been very counterproductive, who was very harmful to this country, and shows that in opposition he does not have the good of this country at heart by the way he has gone about trying to put everything, what he has done with Martinez, trying to destroy our CIP and do whatever he can. This is not a man who has the good of St. Lucia at heart, and the Labour Party, especially through young Dr. Harraksing, will take care of him, I think, once and for all. That is my confidence. Now, do you think we can take a couple calls before the next break, Jaquan? We're close to it. Let's open the phone lines. You can WhatsApp call us. The WhatsApp line, listen carefully, 758, the area code, of course, 487-9849, 487-9849. You can WhatsApp call us on that number, and you can call us on the landline, 4533-911. As I'm trying to scroll to get that press release by the SLP pertaining to the selection of Dr. Harraksing, the daughter of previous SLP candidate, retired nurse Lilia Harraksing, now walking in her mom's footsteps, except with one difference. Her mom was unfortunately unsuccessful, but she is, without question, without any doubt, I'm confident, going to be successful. We have our first caller, do we? Let's take that call. Real Issues, you're on the air.
Yes, good afternoon to you, Shelton.
Hey, good afternoon, my bro. How are you doing?
Yeah, well, not too well, but I'm doing much better now.
Oh my, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, man. Before I go to that one, I wish to take this opportunity to wish the government of St. Lucia, the Cabinet of Ministers, and by extension all St. Lucians, happy anniversary as we celebrate our 4th year tomorrow. Mm-hmm. It's a pity that this afternoon there is some get together at my district rep's office, constituency office, and well, I am unable to attend because yesterday, Shelton, I want to take this opportunity to thank many people, which I cannot even remember all the names because I was not in a situation to see many of them. But they were with me as I went to the funeral, and when I left the cemetery, I felt that I was not feeling too well. So I told my madam, let's go home. When I reached on the main road, by the cemetery, I collapsed.
Oh my.
I collapsed on a step, and the people, the boy, I tell you, I want to thank all these people, brother. I had people around me. Everybody gave me a little something to smell. At time I couldn't recognize anybody. They called the ambulance on me. Mm-hmm. The ambulance took me to the polyclinic. I spent about 3 hours there, and I got home at about after 8. Mm. And I'm home now. I have a couple of tests to do. I'm home now, relaxing, but I'm feeling good now. You sound
a little out of breath. Am I hearing that right, or are you okay? Where the breathing is concerned?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay.
It's just that I'm kind of emotional. The way the people treated me yesterday.
It touched you quite deeply.
Yeah, man. I want to thank everybody for what they did for me, and especially the people who called the ambulance. Mm-hmm. And I want to thank the 2 ambulance drivers. Mm. They were very, very nice. So I just thought that I could use your program to express that feeling, Shelton.
Anytime, my brother. Thank you very much for letting us know.
I'm resting home. Yes. I'm resting home positively now.
Okay, all right, my brother. I really am happy that you are at least able to talk to us, and I hope that, whatever it is, that it is found out, treated, and everything works out, okay?
Yes, my brother. I just have to go and take some tests at OKU next week, so I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Time.
Mike Willie.
Yes, my bro.
A man in times past who was known as the Calypsonian Sleeping Serpent, my former co-worker back in my Radio St. Lucia days, and of course my colleague in the media for even much longer before that, former man working with the GIS back in the day, very, very long time. So another media man there. We have another call on the line. Real Issues. Go ahead, please.
Shelton.
Hey, Saudia.
That's from here.
I know.
Move like identify come. Masa suche mate marche e me smache mo de kuye programo. as much as the Castries South, while my candidate, in I feature in the Castries South.
Okay.
Because I knew what was going on. And last night, a video was sent to me, which I will not share it with anybody else.
Okay.
Sanitary, but your survey, bagay matedi, and I was speaking in general as to politicians, and we cannot wait. Politicians should not be waiting on the last minute to do things, and you know that kind of thing. The politics not that. Like matedi, Messi was the Philippe J. Pierre, I engage. I call the politics because Philippe J. Pierre commenced to have from day one. Because by New Saint Lucia, Philippe J. Saint Lucia VA back to Manete, ça nous connect. Anyway, your service, like you're playing Kadi, Taki, Mopaka supporter Ernest Hille, avec, c'est, again, a bookly where Tommy Descat, so according to Enbus Tommy. I want to use your medium for this loud and clear. Tommy Descat, I connect bien. I know this gentleman very well. And I could tell you I never know Tommy as a UWP. I don't know Tommy as a UWP. I don't know what went into Tommy's head. I don't know if it's the time he spent at being the chief economist at Economic Affairs, seeing underhands, seeing things that probably got him tempted and choose to follow that path.
Did you ever know Tikaro as a UWP?
No, either.
Go ahead, my friend.
So I'm saying all of this, Shelton, to tell you that Tommy is trying to use me to get through and is opening. But I will say today that I am endorsing Ernest Hille as the candidate and the rep for Castries South. I am also endorsing Philippe Joseph Pierre as the Prime Minister for the next election and for the future Prime Minister in this country.
Okay.
So whatever they use and whatever they tried, so Tommy, if you are listening, and those who try that, I will be going all out, like I said to Tommy. And he knows that. The war have just started. Not war of guns, but the political bantering have just started. And I will see to it that Tommy will regret this moment. Although he'll regret it, but worse than any other person that ever come to Castries South to try to represent. Don't take our votes for granted and bring it to Alan Shashney to make him look like the best thing since sliced bread and telling me that you cannot make changes on the outside. Changes on the outside of what? Alan Shashney? What change Tommy could do? What persuasion? You were the chief economist. You couldn't stop Guy Joseph from doing that first indirect awards. If you had any principle, you could have resigned. On principle, based on all what that was going on in the ministry and all what you told me that was going on. Upa resigned.
He could not economize on the direct awards.
Exactly, man. And now you want to change it?
Yes, I think you probably was expecting too much from Tommy. You know, the man had to work in a government that budgeted so many millions for St. Jude Hospital for what? For something called architectural works. What got about architectural drawings? So $200 million are for architectural works.
Pay $1 million to tell you that you would still work with the same hospital and go and build a box.
Yeah.
Tell me what's all part of that.
But you know, those fellas taking people's words and twisting it. It's nothing strange, you know. I am known for a certain statement that I make repeatedly, that if being Labour is a disease, please consider Shelton Daniel an incurable case, right? You heard me say that. Guy Joseph went to some public meeting UWP was having, and the guy is quoting me. I heard Shelton Daniel say that Labour is a disease, you know. But you know, I wasn't too bothered. I came back and I put it on. But who in their right mind will ever expect to hear Shelton Daniel say that Labour is a disease? You understand? You know, I have said, if Labour is a disease, please consider me an incurable case. Me say ali I did that mwendi Labour c'est un disease. Except book sa ka role. C'est pas best mistake if they try to take things and to twist it and to
to show that you're disgruntled and you're saying certain things against the party.
Yeah, you know.
But I don't think that the solution public is ready to listen to the fellas. Because these fellas, and you know what is so strange about Tommy? I have to go back to Tommy, you know. The way that Tommy was raised, how can Tommy go and support a man that believes in trickle-down economics?
Yeah. I will tell you, a lot of those fellas are hopping on the UWP bandwagon, not because they see any hope in UWP, you know, but they realize that Alan Chasney probably is reaching the end of his own rope, his own tenure, and their calculation is that not if, but when UWP loses this election, that Chasney will probably not feel any strength, any kind of courage to continue as leader, and maybe there's a chance. It's
ironic that you're saying that, because he and I had a conversation, Shelton, and he insinuated that from the picture is bigger than that. So then I said to him, so you fight for the leadership too? So you probably on the right track.
Those fellas are seeing that the next election is in all likelihood going to be the end of the road for Chasney. And especially not just UWP losing the election. Chasney himself is going to lose Miku South. You understand? So they now are positioning themselves. They are positioning themselves so that they can get a cut of the leadership pie, so that they can now be in a stronger bargaining and contending position. When the election comes out, there are about 5 of them who that is their game plan. You will see how they will turn on each other to devour and eat up and chop up each other.
Well, I don't think Tommy will be in a position of strength. Because when Memka Alidor tell me where me say pet tell me that Mumudi, that I should have never done that.
But you got the position of strength. What see your tooth ped. You got guys people le Chasney flambeau ped ek Chasney ped. Mais see your tooth ped. See your tooth ped. Because of all about jamais vle comment li porter ça qui pli lou passer.
But it's ironic, no, but I mean, I'm not vexed because of that, Shelton. But what they have done, what the Tommy Camp has done, you leave it well do me.
All right. Okay, my brothers. Thanks a lot. All right. Now we're going way past the time for the break now, but I have to read this because somebody sent it to me. Thank you, Arthur. It is with much pride that the St. Lucia Labour Party announces that it has endorsed Dr. Shanda Lee Harraksingh as its candidate for the Mico South constituency in the next general election, constitutionally due by July 2026. Dr. Harraksingh, born 1976, is from Deriso in Mico South, and is currently the District Medical Officer for Region 4, which includes the communities of Deriso, not Deraso, Deriso, okay? Tiroche, not Tyrocha or Tyroka or anything, Tiroche, Miku, and Monrepo, all right? Prior to this, she served at the then Victoria Hospital in Castries, now the Betty Wells Urban Polyclinic. She obtained her medical degree from the University of the West Indies, Caville Campus, Barbados, and subsequently worked at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in that country. She also holds a bachelor's degree in biochemistry from the Royal Holloway University in London. The St. Lucia Labour Party wishes to thank the other 2 persons who participated in the candidate selection process in Miko South, Mrs. Carlos Moncheri and Gregory Saint-Ange, for their commitment to and continued support for the cause of the St. Lucia Labour Party and the people of Miko South. The SLP congratulates Dr. Shanda Lee Harak Singh on her selection as its candidate for Miko South and welcomes her dedication to the people of the constituency and to effecting the necessary change in parliamentary representation in Miko South. Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters. Don't go away. We'll be back shortly.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Issues powered by Blue Waters is on. Our final program for the week, our final Friday for the month of July 2025. Today is the 25th day. Yes, the 25th day of 0725. We're taking your calls until 2 o'clock, and we have someone on the line already. Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Brother Shelton.
Hey, good afternoon to you.
How are you doing?
Doing great, and you?
Boy, if I tell you something, I think you won't believe me. I don't know if I'm not hearing properly these days, but to me, I hear you announce on your show that the Prime Minister would have been on the show today.
No. That's Terry Fenelon, who does a show on another radio TV station.
Terry Fenelon.
Yeah. No. Terry Fenelon, who hosted the program by himself yesterday, indicated that he would be hosting and interviewing the Prime Minister on a program that he does elsewhere, not on Real FM or NBC.
God, man, Shelton, I don't leave my home today.
Yeah. Okay, so it was a mistake, but
hold a minute. I didn't leave my home. My wife prepared all inclusive for me today: coffee, tea, lunch, everything. And I sit down there waiting for the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy to hear that we have a new candidate for
Mico South.
Mico South.
Yes.
And I'm so happy. And we have to go all out to make sure we see the back of Chasney where politics is in this country.
Yes.
And I remember Honorable Richard Frederick make the point that he will spend all his last drop of blood in Mico to make sure Labour win that seat.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm behind him 100%.
All right, okay, my friend. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
Okay, my brother. That's what I wanted to say, man. I've been there listening to the Prime Minister coming on.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. Yes, the Prime Minister would have been with Terry Fenelon on his program, which would be from 10. I think it's a 1-hour program from 10 to 11 a.m. on Fridays. Okay, so it's not here. Of course, because of the time, it kind of puts me in a little difficulty to listen at the time, so I have to go back later on in the archived program and then read it, off the social media and so on. So I'll be doing that later. We have another call on the line. Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead. Hello.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing great, and you?
All right, I'm okay for now. I would love to see the Labour Party win all 17 seats. No way for UWP. And Shelton, I'm seeking your permission to send a birthday greeting to my niece in England.
Go ahead.
Edmund, who's doing nursing in England.
Yeah.
Her birthday is tomorrow. She is a star because the whole of St. Lucia is celebrating her. May she live to see many more. God's richest blessings and good health upon her, from her mother, Petra, her auntie, Glenda, and Clement.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, folks, I want to extend congratulations to our friend of everybody, and especially in the Real Issues WhatsApp chat group, Mr. Felix Fontenelle, I think more widely known as the Calypsonian Tricky, on the graduation, the qualification of his daughter, Dr. Chancy Nyamiki Fontenelle, who has qualified and graduated as a doctor in Cuba, studied. And Tricky has expressed his thanks to so many, to the governments of St. Lucia and Cuba and all of that. And I can tell you in the pictures that I have before me, which I maybe should have sent to Jaquan to put on the screen. I mean, he really is beaming with pride and joy, and I can understand, and I share that with you, my brother. I wish you the best, and I hope you have many more moments that will bring you that degree of joy and pride, okay? All the best to you. God's blessings to you and to your daughter and your entire family. You're a great friend. You're a good guy. And anytime good things happen to you, I share the joy as well. We have a caller on the line. Real Issues.
Done.
Yes, hi.
Yeah, I too want to just express thanks, and my happiness to my friend, my schoolmate, my soldier. I stand alongside with him, fighting many battles, A good chap, a good father. Tricky, I've been through the struggles of life, but if it's one thing I know about Tricky, when you see it comes to his children, he will go beyond the call of duty for them. And I'm very happy to know that one of his children, his daughter Clancy Fontenelle, has ascended to the heights of doctor.
Yes.
That is very good. And Tricky, I want to tell you, Tricky, I want to wish you all the best, my brother. Congratulations.
Yes.
Shelton, during the last sitting of Parliament, Chasney tried to ridicule Joachim Henry, but what he didn't know is that sing, the sing coming for him. The song that was being sung by Educator, Make Samusha Great Again, Sing Philip Sing. So we all, Shelton, my boots ready, my brother. My boots are ready to mount a political platform to put a rock solid case for that harassing lady. I believe that Chasney, his time has come for him to evacuate, for him to leave, for him to flee Mikud South. Mikud South deserves better, and it is high time that the people of Mikud South elect one of their own in the person of Harak Singh. And I will do everything by the grace of God within my power, and we all have to be determined to push him, give him that final plunge out of political office. Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you very much as well. He kept it short today, didn't he? All right, Brother Gaspar. 487-9849, that's the line on which you can WhatsApp call us. 487-9849. WhatsApp call us on that number, and you can also reach us on 4533-911. All right, so we're getting under the call straight away, it seems. Let's take that one. Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, Shelton. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing okay, and you?
I'm good, my Senate colleague. I just want to take this opportunity, like some of those who have spoken before me, to congratulate Ms. Harakson, Dr. Harakson, on her endorsement as the candidate for Mikud South. I received quite many calls this morning, Shelton, from I've constantly said that Mikud South is very dear to me. It's where I started my formative school years. It's where I still go to church. And so it is very dear to me as my neighboring constituency. So I've got quite a few calls this morning with persons who expressing their disappointment, obviously, because they perhaps supported one of the other applicants. And so I just want to make this clarion call to supporters and members and electorates of Mikud South that this is an opportunity for us. I think there is there is value in the collective that we all want to achieve the same thing, and I believe that every other individual who applied also wanted to achieve the same thing, which is to ensure that seat comes home to the Senegal Labour Party. And I guess whilst everybody is still in a bit in their feelings, that they do not lose focus on the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is to bring Mikud South home to the St. Lucia Labour Party. So I just want to encourage the constituents of Mikud South to not forget the bigger picture, that the St. Lucia Labour Party is the party that is best fit to run this country. And we need another term in office to ensure that we continue on what we have started. I need them whilst they grieve, whilst they, like I said, that they're still in their feelings, to not forget that not supporting or not voting in their drones, in their numbers, in the majority in Mikud South means and the loss of so many of the things that the St. Lucia Labour Party has worked so hard to achieve over the last 4 years. Shelton, Migood South is generally a farming-based constituency. And a few days ago, the St. Lucia Labour Party launched this insurance program for banana and plantain farmers. It means that a vote for Alan Chastney is a vote to diminish gains like these, a vote to diminish the gains of our many children within that constituency who are receiving laptops, who are receiving $500 after writing CPA, who are receiving their facility fees paid. There are 2 primary schools in that constituency and the secondary school. All of these, no, it's not 2. There are about 3 second and primary schools are in that constituency. And the secondary school, all of the students who are attending these schools are beneficiaries of the facilities fee being paid by this government. And of course, I know we could go on and on that we do not have the time to do, Shelton, but there is enough evidence to prove and to convince the people of Micoud South that the best option for all of us is that they go out in their numbers and they ensure that they vote Dr. Haraksin in so we can see the back of Alan Chastney and the United Workers' Party in the landscape of this country.
I'm so happy you use the word gain. What gain is in that? So basically we can tell people with confidence, she's a vote by Alan Chastney. He going, you know.
Exactly. Shelton, and it's clear, the evidence is there. And we need to ensure that we continue to support the St. Lucia Labour Party. So we can. There is no going back. There is no diminishing what we have achieved, Shelton. There is only going forward and adding more to it. But our vote counts at the end of the day.
All right. Thank you so very much. Okay, Senator.
You're most welcome.
Adriana Toussaint Chalry. Nice to hear you, and really appreciate having you on. All right, folks. Before I go, I must not forget that. Okay. Let's take that final call. Hi, caller. Good afternoon. You're a final.
Yes, good afternoon. How do you do, sir?
Doing great, and you?
Okay, not bad. As Mrs. Toussaint Chalry has said, she has said it all. I do not know the person in that lady in person. The last time I saw her, she was a toddler.
Okay.
I don't care whether she's a dog, whether she's a him, whether she's a him. As long as she's going up against Chastney, I support her. And I have one thing to say. Les Rouges, nous pas ni place pour diviser comme nous. We have to get that job done with all hands on the same deck and all boots on the same ground. We need to get rid of that nonsense guy. Send him packing and get the job done. I'm done. Have a good day, people. Have a good weekend.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. A lost key and remote key, all right, for a vehicle. And there is a tag on it which says that it's Nissan Serena and that the number is P something. But if it has a letter, I cannot see the second letter, whether it's PA or whatever, but I can see P, then it's faded 1883. So if anyone lost and that key was found in Serenity Park, not far from where MBC is, in this same Sanssouci area, a remote starter key, P something 1883 for Nissan Serena. Let me hold it in front of the camera. So this is it. This is the tag that it came with. And of course it just has a can opener on it. So if you lost it, you can, with proper proof and identification, come collect it, because the person who found it brought it to us here at MBC. It will be left with the receptionist at the front. So, come as quickly as possible so that, we can get it off our hands and get it back to you, because losing your key, your vehicle key, has to be a great inconvenience, whatever the circumstances that you find yourself in, all right? That's all the time that we have for the real issues today. Thank you very much for someone from Bogus who sent me a message saying Bogus is producing good cricketers. Both Kimani and Unieski are from Bogus. So proud person, and I wish the young men well. I wish they would make a contribution that would aid in turning around the fortunes of West Indies, which at this stage look very dismal. That's the real issues for today and for the week. Thank you so very much, everyone. Thanks, Jaquan. God willing, all things equal, we'll start again on Monday for another run until Thursday, the 31st of July. Till then, Shelton Daniel signing out.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Numbers for the midday draw of Thursday, 24th July 2025 were Double Daily Grand 12, 17, 18, 21. Big 4 9, 7, 8, 8. Big 4 Multi-X FP. Pick 2 1, 8. Pick 2 Multi-X 5X. One off 3, 9, 0. Lucky 3 489, Lucky 3 Multi-X FP.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues.